Hi, it's Cheryl with Dragonfly Beads, and as you probably saw from the cover, the thumbnail for the video, hopefully I upload that correctly, but what we're making today is a daisy chain, but with hearts. It's a heart daisy chain. So it's been around a while. It's a cute little Valentine's Day gift. And I thought it'd be fun. So what we're doing is we're going to use, because the daisy chain needs to be durable, we're going to use Fireline, and I use this Smoke extra fine 0.006 diameter 4-pound. I do sell this. I sell them in the smaller spools. This is a humongous spool because I use the crap out of this stuff. So yeah, and don't be offended by my language. It happens. So that's what I'm going to use. You can get crystal clear. I just tend to use this because it's what I have on hand. I'm not going to use my Toho line because the daisy chain needs to have a higher tensile strength to hold up, because the hearts are all connected by one link between one thread pass between each heart and a group of beads that sits in between the hearts. So this isn't strong enough. If perhaps the necklace gets pulled, this will break. This won't break so much. Its tensile strength is higher. Also, you're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a tube of cherry red seed beads. You're going to 11-aught. You're going to need a tube of any type of metallic 11-aught seed beads. These are gold lined. You're going to need a tube of 15-aught seed beads that match the color of your 11-aughts, okay? And you're going to need a strand of 3mm fire polish or 4mm fire polish. It doesn't matter. I mean, the seed beaded hearts that we're going to make are small, so you don't want the fire polish that is strung between each heart to overpower the dainty size of the heart. So stick to 3 or 4mm fire polish rounds. Don't size up to 6, because then your hearts will get lost in the large size of the 6s. So use something small. I'm using 3s, and I got 50 of them. I have 50 of them here, so we'll see how far that takes us. Hopefully far enough. And you're going to need a needle, an 11 or a 10 sized needle. You don't want to go smaller than that because we're not making a lot of passes, and you want a needle that you can hold on to. So that's what I use. And so I'm going to get started. What we're going to do is we're going to pull out roughly 2 yards of the Fireline. And I measure from the tip end of my nose, and I pull my arm all the way out. So from the tip of my nose to the tip of my fingers is roughly a yard. And I'm going to do that twice. And then I always pull like maybe half a yard or another foot just for good measure. This is actually the length for a necklace. You're going to only want to use a yard if you're doing a bracelet. And then you're going to pull that line right down in between your fingers, and you're going to set your needle right on top of it, and there it's threaded. And I'm going to pull this And I'm going to fold this almost in half to keep all the excess out of my way. As I work, I will release more of the length, but when I'm just getting started, I fold it pretty much practically in half. So we're going to start by picking up 9 of the gold. I think I have 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's a lot of counting and seed beating. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold your finger on them. Don't let them go. Hold your finger on them and pull almost to the end. Here's your little tag. That's about 6 inches. And you're going to take your needle and go through the beads the opposite direction. Oops. So that you have something that looks kind of like this. And what you're doing is you're catching those beads and you're going to turn them into a loop. Like that. And what you're going to do is we're going to put quite a few knots in this. We're going to start by knotting it. And I just do a couple half hitches. A half hitch is left over right. It's half of a square knot. And then we're going to travel this needle back around these beads, all of them again. Fireline has a tendency to want to knot on you. If you work in a little box, this little box right in front of your body, and pull the thread away from your body as you work, instead of pulling your arm all the way out, but just work like this, like right here, instead of pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. If you pull in increments right in front of your body, you get less knots in your fire line that way. Okay, now we're back to where we started. Okay. And now I'm going to travel the needle. Here's my tail, and I'm going to wrap that around my fingers so that I have tensioning on the project while I work. I'm going to travel the needle back out of the way of my tail. And now I'm ready to string on the hearts. So what I'm going to do is, there's a count to this. You're going to go gold, fire polish, gold. Okay. And then you're going to go 15, 115, and 13 11s. 13 11s. And I just do that by poking the needle on them and count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, they're all there. So go ahead and pull those down to your ring. Hello, little ring. So you have something that looks like that. And then you're going to go, hold your work in your hand, take your needle, and go from the opposite direction through the 15 and the first 11, like that. Okay? Go ahead and pull out your slack. And then you're going to have something that looks like this. Oops. You're going to have something that looks like that. And then you're going to have your tail coming out of the very first 11 knot. You're going to pick up a 15 and plant it in between the first 11 and this next one. Okay. And then you're going to skip this bead and run your thread through the next one. And I just pull the slack out by putting my hand on it and pulling. Now I'm going to put another 15 in right here. So what we have is we ran our needle through the first 15 and the 11. We picked up a 15 and planted it between the first 11 and the second 11. We skipped this one and ran the thread from this bead to this bead, skipping this one. Now you pick up a 15 and you plant it between, what is this, the 4th and the 5th. Okay? All right? So you can kind of start to see where I'm going with this. Now you're going to travel your needle down 4 seed beads so that you have 4 on this side and 4 on this side. And this will make more sense in a minute. Pull your slack, pick up an 11-aught seed bead and plant it between each side of 4. Okay? And there's your heart. That's your little heart. And now you can see why there is a 15 here and 1 here and an 11 down at the bottom, because it's what makes this little ring of seed beads take the shape of a heart. Okay? So now I'm going to put my thumb back over this and I'm going to travel my needle from here all the way around to this bead. All right. See if I can do this without messing up. It's hard to work around a camera. Okay. See how I'm always pulling the thread right in front of me in increments instead of long continuous lines? That way I don't get knots, hopefully. Doesn't always work out. Once again, we're skipping that one bead, okay? See what I'm doing? And then I'm traveling once more through this 15 and this 111, the 11 right below it, okay? And then leave a tail. Oops. Okay. And then pull the slack Not super tight, but just give it a tug. And see, now what you've got is I wrapped my, oops, hold on a sec, folks. I wrapped my tail around my beadwork. Okay, there's my tail. So now what you've got is your ring, your set of 3, and that goes in between each heart, and then your heart. And see where my thread is coming out of? We're going to load up and we're going to repeat the pattern. Okay, and then we go 1 15-aught and 13 11s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay? And then you're going to needle and go through that 15 and the first 11. Okay. So then you have something that looks like that. And you're coming out of the first 11, you're going to plant a 15 right between those 2 beads. You're going to skip a bead and needle through the next one. You're going to plant a 15 between 4 and 5. And needle down If you do it all at once, it's 5 beads. So I picked up my 15. Say I got my 15 loaded on the needle, and I'm planting it between number 4 and 5, and you're going to needle down 5 11-aughts to the center of the bottom. Oh. My fire line just got a little knotty, and what I do is I take my hand and I run it down between the 2 pieces, and I separate the knot again. There we go. So now I'm down here in the middle. I pick up an 11. I run it back up through these. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, and then I'm going to run my needle through these. And then through this. Skip that bead. And then back through the 15 and 11. And then you're ready to pick up your next set. See? So now we're ready to start with the pattern again. And it's 11, a fire polish and an 11, a 15, and 13 11/aughts, okay? And then you're going to continue that pattern until this reaches the length you want it to. So I'm going to turn off the camera and continue beading for a few minutes, and then I will show you where I'm at.